Why do some people become financially independent, while others work for someone else their entire lives? How to change your thinking and learn to see opportunities. This video covers the key principles of entrepreneurial thinking and the foundations of financial independence. Ordinary people say, "I don't have enough money." Entrepreneurs ask, "How can I make money?" Ordinary people are afraid of risks. Entrepreneurs learn from mistakes. See opportunities, not problems. Crises, changes, new technologies are a chance for new solutions, flexibility, and adaptation. The world is changing rapidly, and it is important to be able to change strategy. Action is more important than a perfect plan. Small steps bring more benefits than endless thinking. Separation of assets and liabilities. Liabilities spend money, cars, unnecessary things. Assets generate income, business, investments, rent, multiple sources of income. Financially free people do not depend on one salary. The 50-30-20 principle. 50% basic expenses, 30% desires, 20% investments, diagram with distribution of money. Practice critical thinking. Notice every day what problems can be solved. Learning and continuous development. Reading, observing working business models, market analysis. Start small. Launch a small project. Test the idea without large investments. Simple visualization with 3 key steps. A person who started as a freelancer and created a business. Someone invested small amounts and created passive income. It is not the starting capital that is important, but the right thinking and actions. No names, just general concepts. Entrepreneurial thinking is a skill, not an innate quality. The modern world offers many solutions for finding harmony. We encounter various philosophies, teachings, and practices that promise to lead us to inner peace. But what if harmony is not about giving up the fight, but about being able to move with life? We often chase idealized images of happiness and success. It seems to us that having achieved a certain goal, we will find peace. But in reality, it turns out that even the most ambitious achievements rarely bring lasting satisfaction. Harmony is not a destination, but a process. Harmony is not a fight with reality, but the ability to adapt to it. It is not passivity, but conscious movement. When we understand where to direct our efforts, resistance disappears. Mindfulness is the key to harmony. Being here and now, noticing your thoughts and feelings, but not getting hung up on them. This is not just meditation, but constant attention to what is happening around you. Adaptability is the ability to change your strategy while remaining true to yourself. Instead of fighting our circumstances, we can find ways to act more effectively. Being in the flow does not mean losing yourself. It means finding a balance between the external world and your inner nature. True harmony comes when we move consciously, using the natural forces of life, not resisting them. How to find harmony? Not in resistance, but in awareness. Not in struggle, but in the ability to move. Harmony is not an end goal, but a way of being. Practices for harmony and growth through Arionic. How to learn to be in harmony with yourself and the world without losing your way? The answer lies in practices that deeply integrate Arionic philosophy into everyday life. We have already talked about the importance of awareness, critical thinking, and discipline. But how do these elements relate to the basic principles of Arionic? 1. Interacting with the flow. Arionic views life as an endless movement, as a current in which it is important not to resist, but to learn to cooperate with it. This is the concept of the flow, the universal order with which a person can harmoniously interact, feeling its rhythm and patterns, but without losing their own will. Practice of interacting with the flow. Every day, create moments to listen to the world around you. Feel the rhythm of your actions, moods, interactions with others. Ask yourself when it is easier for you and when it is harder to move in life. Perhaps in times of difficulty, you resist the status quo. Learn to adapt, moving with minimal effort. but without losing your purpose and inner balance. 2. Virtue, merging spirit, mind, and body. Virtue in Arianic is not just a moral principle, but a whole approach to life based on the synergy of spiritual, mental, and physical strength. Developing virtue helps to achieve harmony in all aspects of life. It is important to understand that each of these dimensions is interconnected, and the development of one supports the development of the others. Virtue practice. Develop harmony between spiritual development, intellectual pursuits, and physical activity. For example, you can combine meditation practices for inner growth with physical exercises such as yoga or swimming, and develop the mind through reading, learning, and critical thinking about the world. Remember that harmony in one area leads to the strengthening and improvement of the others. 3. Conscious discipline. Discipline in Arianic is not a limitation, but a way to direct your energy in the right direction. Conscious discipline means the ability to set goals that maintain internal order and develop those practices that promote growth and improvement in accordance with your individual flow. Practice of conscious discipline. Choose one area of your life in which you want to see improvements. Instead of setting strict rules, think about how you can make every action more conscious, setting goals that help develop your body, mind, and spirit. This can be as simple as a morning ritual, as well as regular meditation, sports practices, or deep reflection on your path. Chapter 3. Ideas for sustainable growth and simplicity. In search of harmony and growth, we often face an overabundance of information, a fast pace of life, and difficult choices. However, the path to a more productive and conscious life does not necessarily involve complexity. Instead, you can find strength and inner peace by following simple yet effective principles that help you build a more conscious and balanced life. 1. The art of simplification. In a world full of distractions, it is often important to take a step back and simplify your life. Learning to get rid of unnecessary things, whether they are things, tasks, or even relationships, helps make room for what is truly important. Too many things and obligations create chaos, and when we leave only the essentials, we begin to experience greater freedom and clarity in our lives. Simplification practice. Assess your daily habits and responsibilities. What can you get rid of without compromising the quality of your life? Perhaps you can say no to unnecessary meetings or reduce the number of things that do not bring joy and benefit. When we make space, we are able to more consciously interact with what remains. 2. Balance and harmony in everyday life. The idea of harmony is not to strive for excessive activity, but to learn to appreciate moments of peace and rest. It is important to understand that balance is not only between work and rest, but also within ourselves. We can create space for rest without feeling guilty and move forward without losing strength. Harmony practice. Set goals that match your current state. If you feel tired, give yourself the opportunity to rest so that you can act with more energy later. Use moments of silence and solitude for restoration and reflection. 3. Conscious acceptance and development. An important part of sustainable growth is the realization that development is not only moving forward, but also accepting your weaknesses. Constantly searching for perfection can lead to fatigue and frustration if you do not take into account that each person develops at their own pace and according to their own unique laws. Practice of acceptance. Focus on accepting yourself as you are, in any state. This does not mean stopping. What can you do today? Write in the comments.